She grabbed a single dad's trembling hand so suddenly that he almost dropped the small paper bag holding medicine for his sick daughter. Her eyes were filled with panic, tears, and desperation as she whispered only one sentence that changed both of their lives forever. "Pretend you're my husband for just 40 minutes. Before he could even understand what was happening, several well-dressed people were walking toward them with cold expressions, and the frightened woman held his hand tighter, as if it were the only thing keeping her from falling apart. In that unforgettable moment, one simple act of kindness became the beginning of a story neither of them could have imagined. If you believe kindness can change lives and that everyone deserves a second chance, please take a moment to like this video. Leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Share this story with someone who needs hope today. And subscribe to Kindness Corner for more emotional stories that remind us humanity is still alive. Daniel had been raising his 8-year-old daughter alone ever since his wife passed away after a long illness. Every day was a quiet battle between work, parenting, bills, and grief. He had forgotten what it felt like to think about himself, because every decision revolved around keeping his little girl safe and happy. That afternoon, he had simply gone to pick up medicine before rushing home, never expecting that fate would place a frightened stranger directly in his path. The woman introduced herself only with her eyes, because fear had stolen most of her words. Daniel soon realized she wasn't running from criminals, but from something even more complicated. A wealthy family determined to force her into a marriage she didn't want. After years of controlling every decision she made, they had arranged a public engagement party where refusing would destroy both her reputation and the charitable foundation she had built for disadvantaged children. She needed just 40 minutes to convince them she had already chosen someone else, buying enough time to escape their control legally and emotionally. Although Daniel knew pretending to be her husband could create countless misunderstandings, he couldn't ignore the desperation written across her face. He remembered the helpless feeling he had experienced while watching his own wife fight for her life, wishing someone could somehow rescue them from pain. That memory gave him the courage to help a complete stranger. Inside the luxurious hotel, Daniel felt painfully out of place in his worn jacket and tired shoes. The elegant guests looked at him with silent judgment, while the woman's family questioned every detail about their supposed marriage. Daniel answered carefully, relying not on lies but on genuine kindness, respect, and calmness. The more he protected her dignity, the more obvious it became that her family valued wealth above happiness. Yet something unexpected happened. Instead of exposing them, the older guests quietly admired the way Daniel looked after her with patience and compassion, qualities money could never purchase. The 40 minutes passed like hours, filled with tension that could be felt in every glance and every heartbeat. Finally, the woman found the courage to tell her family the truth, not about Daniel being her husband, but about refusing to sacrifice her future for their expectations. Daniel stood beside her silently, offering nothing except the strength of his presence. Sometimes the greatest kindness isn't solving someone's problems, it's reminding them they don't have to face them alone. Weeks later, Daniel believed the strange encounter had become nothing more than a memory. Then a letter arrived at his modest apartment. Inside was an invitation to visit the children's foundation the woman had fought so hard to protect. Curious, he brought his daughter along. There they discovered hundreds of children laughing, learning, and dreaming, because one woman had refused to let power silence compassion. Daniel's daughter quickly became friends with the children, and for the first time since losing her mother, her laughter echoed without sadness hiding behind it. The woman also found herself becoming part of their quiet little family. She admired Daniel not because he had pretended to be her husband,